Hi everybody, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own sock monkey. The supplies you'll need for this project is first a pair of socks, preferably an old pair so you don't ruin a nice new pair of socks. Other supplies you'll need include a ruler, a pair of scissors, a marker, 4 buttons, 2 for the eyes and 2 for the belly buttons, a bundle of string, and a big bunch of cotton for the stuffing. Take the time to pause the video now to mark out where you need to cut both of your socks. So now that you've cut your socks, we can move on to the sewing part of the video. For this part, you can either use a sewing machine or a needle and thread. Also, you may need an adult's help, depending on your age. Without further ado, let's get started with the sewing. Before you actually start sewing the sock monkey, you need to test the fabric of the sock to see how easy it is to sew. What I did was take an extra piece of the sock that I wasn't going to use for the actual monkey. Next, you need to flip the sock inside out since that is what you'll need to do each time you sew a part of the monkey. So let's test this. It seems to be working smoothly, so now I can get started on the rest of the sock monkey. So I'm going to be starting by sewing the body. First, I used bobby pins to hold the rest of the body in place while I sewed one particular spot. I'm going to take the bobby pins out as needed. When sewing, always remember to flip the fabric inside out so when you flip it back over, the sewing marks won't show. Remember to always leave some margin at the sides. It will be much easier to handle later on when stuffing. One place that is especially hard to sew are the legs because you need to turn the monkey around a lot, so just be careful of that. When you finish sewing the body, remember to leave a hole by the chalk around the head area so that you can stuff it later on. So when you're finished sewing the body, just flip it over to see how it looks. So far, it looks really good, doesn't it? So now I'm going to be sewing the arms. One thing to be careful of when sewing the arms is that you need to make sure that they don't turn out too thin. Otherwise, it may be really hard to stuff them later on. Now I'm going to be sewing the tail. The only real difference between the arm and the tail is that I'm going to curve the tail a bit at the end to make it a bit more round. So now I have sewn every other part of the monkey's body except for the mouth and the head. The mouth I'm not going to be sewing with the sewing machine since it requires a bit more of a different technique. The head, however, I'm going to be sewing in a semicircle sort of shape. Next, with a needle and thread, sew the mouth onto the head and stuff it. Next, use buttons to sew onto the head as eyes and onto the stomach as belly buttons. To get the ears on, cut a little hole on the side of the head. Next, simply just stuff the ears into that little hole. After that, use the method that's being shown here to sew the head and the body almost completely shut. So now that you have the head and the body almost sewn completely shut, sew them together. Also, sew the rest of the body parts onto the monkey. And there you have it, your very own sock monkey. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. To the right, no, to the left, to the right, or above me, right there, wherever it is for you. Thanks for watching and see you next time.